Hello, and welcome to the Pulpit Wives podcast. This is Sharon Rand, the Pulpit Wife, the coach for the Preacher's Wives, and I am so excited that you are here today to help me explain part of the anatomy of the Preacher's Wife. And on this episode, I want to talk about the hands of the Preacher's Wife, which I believe are a symbol of service, strength, and sacrifice. Have you ever noticed how much a preacher's wife does with her hands? From cooking meals to comforting a grieving soul, her hands are constantly in motion, serving, supporting, and strengthening those around her, everyone she comes in contact with. Her hands are more than just tools, they represent her heart in action. Look at Proverbs 31 and 20. She opens her hands to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. Her hands reflect Christ's love through acts of kindness and care. Kindness, care, and service. Her hands, the many roles of her hands. When the hands serve, behind the scenes, she's preparing communion, arranging flowers, organizing events, serving meals at church functions. If I were to share a real life experience of what a preacher's wife's hands does, I can tell you the many positions that I've held in the Baptist church, from the Sunday school for the toddlers to usher to secretary to mission president, now as a minister in the church. So my hands have done the service of my heart in action. Just look at a pair of women's hands, not just a preacher's wife hands. Look at a woman's hands. Some women have hands that look just as strong as some men's hands, not because they did physical work, but they have held up not only the bloodstained banner of the Lord, but they have held up the support of the ministry of their spouse, of their husband, if he's a preacher, a deacon, an elder, a bishop, no matter what position he holds in the church. Just holding her hands and looking at them, there's the unseen strength that's behind the pulpit. Those hands tell a story. They support more than you know, especially within herself. She's supporting herself. Not only does she pray with those hands, with that unseen strength, she encourages herself and church members. A simple touch on the shoulder, a handshake, or a hug can reassure those in need. That's her hands in action showing the love. I remember when I had to just hold my husband's hand during a time of stressful situations at church with different things that go on in the church. And we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about the love and action of the preacher's wife hands during a crisis. I want to ask you a question. How has a simple touch or gesture of support from a preacher's wife impacted your life? Do you remember any preacher's wife that came to your aid at a time of need, even just to hold you during a service, during a funeral, during a wedding? Has she impacted your life? The preacher's wife hands are a symbol of healing, a symbol of healing, a symbol of exhortation, of gathering, laying hands in prayer. We pray over the sick. That gets the ones that are discouraged and lost. How many of you have to stand during the time when the doors of the church are open, when the pastor are asking people to join the church for prayer, for baptism, for discipleship? How many times do you stand and agree during the service of what's going on? Laying hands, raising hands. You're carrying and caring for some of the wounded that have come before the throne of grace, whether they scraped their knee in the nursery or broke a heel or misplaced part of their uniform in the choir. The preacher's wife is one of the people that you go to solve these situations, and those situations heal. It's a powerful but gentle touch. How it can even heal words that others have said to you that make you want to give up. And the preacher's wife has come to you to ease that. Her hands, they carry the burdens of others. She's already juggling responsibilities, church needs, family obligations, personal struggles. Remember that we're no different than any other woman with questions, issues, and concerns. What about the times when she's going through her own struggles? Are you there to hold her hand? Who can she go to? There's several things that I can say as far as my ministry and the Pulpit Wife Ministries. I am a coach for the preacher's wives, and I am there to support the struggles that preacher's wives go to. And if you're listening to the Pulpit Wives podcast and you're a preacher's wife, what burdens have you seen a preacher's wife carry with grace and resilience? With grace and resilience. Have you watched a big cat from the jungle and how they carry themselves with grace and resilience? They move their body in unison, their paws or their hands that go out for food, that provide shelter, that fight in battles. These are symbolic of the hands of a preacher's wife, hands that build and create. We are teachers and mentors. We write devotionals, we lead Bible studies, we guide other young women. We are approachable. You have to understand that the preacher's wife's hands are here to build and create as far as kingdom living, personal struggles, at home issues. We are crafty. We are organizers. Yes, we can do decorating and we can do live events and make gifts, but we're more than that. We have a creative ministry, not just to put together the meals, make sure that the food is prepped. We have other gifts outside of that, but we've been known to carry that mantle of the hostess with the mostest. And I use that a lot in analogies where women feel that if they don't look the part of the perfect cook, the perfect homemaker, the perfect organizer, that they have fallen short of the preacher's wife. No, that's not so. That's not so. And if you have any questions or doubts about your position in the preacher's wife ministry, you can go to pulpitwife.com and sign up for a consultation with me. I call it a discovery call. Let's discover what issues you have that I may be able to help you with. And that's at pulpitwife.com, and go to the coaching section. Again, this is the Pulpit Wife, and this is the Pulpit Wife's podcast. So in closing, I want to remind you that the preacher's wife's hands is a blessing. So I want to bless the preacher's wife's hands. While your hands may grow weary, they are never empty, because God continues to fill them with purpose and grace. Listeners, think about how they too can serve with your hands. Think about it. How can you? Whether in a small or big ways. Share your experiences. Leave a comment. Like. Subscribe. Be a part of a growing nation of preachers' wives.